I'm Tilo, CEO and of the SPRTER app and host of the podcast. I'm super excited to welcome you to the podcast, learn from you, share your story with our audience. And before we get into this, I want to make sure that our audience also knows that you are winners of the College Impact Award, where you made incredible contributions to the community while being in college, which is something that we extremely value. So awesome job, both of you, for just using sport as a platform for change. Really appreciate that. Now, let's delve into it. We always ask, how did it start? How did you start playing basketball? Because you're both basketball players at Colorado State University. How did you start playing basketball? And when did you realize, hey, I'm actually really good at this?
Sierra, you want to go take it first or me?
Yeah, sure. I can start off. Yeah, so my parents are huge like sports fanatics. They have been from the jump. So I started when I was in like probably kindergarten or first grade in one of those leagues where they don't even keep score. They just kind of let you go at it. And I played a couple different sports, all up until like middle school. And then in high school, they were like, you got to pick one. It's too expensive. Which one do you find the most fun? And I ended up with basketball, and yeah, stuck with it. So that was super cool.
All right, thanks for that background. Sierra?
Yeah.
Sorry, Cailyn.
No worries. It's pronounced Cailyn, but it's totally okay because I get Cailyn all the time. But no worries. I actually am the youngest of three, and my older brother and my older sister played basketball as well. So I was always around it growing up. My brother actually played in college as well. So I was kind of just always following in their footsteps, following them around, doing whatever they did. So I lived in gyms, and I said, well, if I'm here and I have to be here and I'm a little kid, like it's fun just playing or running around, not knowing what I'm doing. But I ended up just being pretty good at it and realizing that I loved it and just continuing to go with it. My family's a huge sports family, very supportive. So when I decided that I wanted to follow in the footsteps of my brother and sister as well, everybody just jumped on board.
And how much has that sibling rivalry pushed you?
Oh, for sure. I honestly grown up with strangers or anything like that. It was always my brother, um, working me out, and then when my sister played, putting us up against each other, and just always in the backyard or at the park, just going at it. I came in crying quite a few times just from my brother dunking on me, pushing me down, but it made me really. I appreciate everything that he poured into me now, because now I can see the benefits. And my sister she was the best shooter probably in the family still. So I'm still trying to get to her level.
All right, that's interesting. But besides the crying part, we don't really want to go there. But I guess that's the level of competition sometimes takes its toll. Now, both of you grew up in whether it's your parents push you or supported, right? That's always a fine line sometimes here, or your brothers and your family there. But at some point there was the realization that, hey, I could actually go and play this in college. Now you're both playing Colorado State, which I mean, we're based on the East Coast right now. Every time I hear mountains, I'm like, yeah, I want to go. So at one point, did you realize that, yes, we could go and play college, as well as what made you decide to go to Colorado State?
Well, we actually were at the University of California, Berkeley together, and we played on that team. I just transferred to actually. Sierra's still at Cal. But I think definitely from a young age, I saw, what greatness could possibly look like, and seeing my brother go to college and play. So I, from a young age, just really wanted to be the best version of myself. whatever that meant at the time. Like when I was younger, that meant like, oh, I want to be the first woman in the NBA. It's like, okay, there's a WNBA, so you don't have to really do that. But I think I just was always striving for greatness and still am trying to be the best version of myself, whatever that means. So right now, I'm really excited to be here at Colorado State, and I'm really excited for this season. We're going to start in about a month and just really continue growing as a person on and off the court, and just be around my teammates and continue to try to have a legacy wherever I am.
And that makes a lot of sense, because I'm like, I thought it was California, but when I went to Instagram, I'm like, Colorado State. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I must have been confused. So that makes a lot of sense. Are you making use of your 5th year eligibility, or what led to that transfer?
Yeah, so I actually finished Cal in 3 years, and I just transferred, and I have 2 more years. So technically, this is my senior year here. Then I'm also have a 5th year, so I'm really excited and just to get it going with my new teammates and coaching staff. And practices have been amazing and a lot of fun. So I'm really excited about what's to come in the future of being a Ram here. But it's definitely different. But super excited, and I miss Sierra. It's kind of crazy. This is the first time we're kind of like this since I've left. So I'm really excited just to be here and being a part of it.
All right, that is great to hear. 3 years, finishing in 3 is pretty strong. So kudos. And Sierra, now if we bounce to you, what made you decide to go to California? Actually, both of you went and selected California initially. So what made you decide to go to California, as well as when did you realize, hey, I'm actually that good that I could play college?
So my journey was a little bit different to Cal. So, I played on all the club teams, but I'm from like a, smaller part of Southern California. So competition was a little different. Um, and I just wasn't sure if basketball really was my path in college. I had some opportunities at like the D2, D3 level that I was considering, but I was also a really good student. And so I wanted to prioritize that. So when I got into Berkeley academically, I was like, okay, yeah, like I'm fine with this. I'm going to be, I'm going to pursue academics. I've enjoyed myself playing basketball. And, now like I can say I had a great career and kind of moved past that. But there actually turned out to be a connection that one of my club coaches had at Cal with Lindsay Gottlieb. So film was sent back and forth, conversations were had, and basically they invited me to try out the summer with the team to be considered as a walk-on. And at the end of that summer, they offered me a position on the team. So that was super cool. I got to play as a walk-on. I earned scholarship, a year later, and it was just an amazing opportunity. So yeah.
That's pretty interesting, because what generally we hear from people when we're talking to college athletes, we hear, oh, I got recruited. I went through the full-on recruitment cycle, but the walk-on experience is something we don't hear as often. So that's pretty exciting that you decided to go to the university, and then like, yeah, let me try out. I think I can ball. That's cool. Now, both of you have been active and in the community, have been supporting. If you could share a little bit of your background on the projects that you've been supporting, and what motivated you to get involved and basically using sport to make the world a little bit of a better place.
I can start with this one. So I have a little bit of a background. I've always enjoyed volunteering, and in my early years at Cal, I coached, a youth YMCA basketball team. I also worked at, the special needs aquatic program that's based in Berkeley. So really cool, like service opportunities to kind of, help those communities. And so when we were at home and we didn't have those opportunities in person to show up for people like that, when Charmin kind of came to our team with this, saying that she would support us in anything that we wanted to do. to support like the racial justice movement. It seemed like an amazing opportunity that I could get involved with, and Kai definitely strengthened the efforts, even from our home, even from our bedrooms. Like when we couldn't play basketball, couldn't do anything else, we could do this. Um, so yeah, so just an amazing opportunity to have, and just an incredible platform as student athletes with the head coach that we have. Um, yeah, it was a really cool opportunity.
Yes, for me, I think um, as being an African American woman, it's something that I've always dealt with racial injustice, or my family members. So that it's not something that I think really took that much effort for me, because it was my life experience. And during the pandemic and George Floyd and so many others, it's not the first time that it happened, but it's one of the first times that it actually was on film, and the world was stopped to just, that's all you could watch, that's all you could hear about. So I think when at the time we were granted the opportunity to have support behind us, there's not that many times that I feel like a university will, and an athletic department and a coaching staff would like literally just back you in what you want to do. And that's what we had at Cal. And Sierra came to me after we had a team meeting and had some ideas, and just kind of wanted to run them by me and what I was thinking. Um, and at the time, I was also a Black student athlete video for Cal that we actually produced and got out as well. So it was just, at that moment, I felt helpless. We were all helpless, but there was so many things that we could try to figure out how to do, and how to, when we did all come back together, how could we make it better? How could we make it better for not only us, like Sierra and I both aren't there anymore, but I think it's still continuing on, and it's going to be bigger than just us and what we did. It's a legacy that will continue, and I think it makes it better for our athletes at Cal, but not only them, but the community in general, in trying to just push um, just different aspects and perspectives that nobody has ever thought about. Not only, Black racial issues, but there's so many other issues in Asian and a lot of demographics that are going through a lot of different things that nobody knows about or nobody wants to know about at this time. So bringing student athletes, staff, and faculty together to talk about these issues are super amazing. And it was great to see, because we had a lot of support and a lot of people come. And sometimes it was just like, oh, I didn't know that you felt this way, or that this was your life, or I never thought about it like this, or that type of perspective. So we had a lot of different people in the room that could give their perspectives and teach and learn from each other.
I really appreciate that insight, and that's a great motivation. Now, you both talked a little bit about the role of the team support, the role of the athletics department support, the role of the coaching support. Can you elaborate on that, and how that helped in, I don't want to say movement, but like helping with your action and helping with your causes?
Yeah, I think a lot of times as athletes, it has been said, shut up and dribble, or not have that type of um, insight about your personal life, or like, we're basketball players, stick to basketball. But we were able to actually stick to basketball and do what we needed to do on the court, but also have a life outside of that. And we're more than basketball players. We're more than just students. There's a lot of different things that go on in our lives that we are able to speak on, and we were able to speak on. So I think we actually ended up sending a letter to Jim Knowlton, who's the athletic director at Cal, and right away, I think it was like the same day, he answered and put us in contact with people, and we had a meeting about it. And we didn't know exactly what we wanted to do yet, to be honest. We were just like, we want to do something. We know that this is an issue. But once we kind of had a lot of different meetings and figured out what we wanted to do, they put us in contact with people on campus that could continue our movement and kind of help direct us in our organization that we started, as well as like Coach Sharman really taking the role of being our advisor and making sure that she was on our meetings. And we had like, we're adults, but we also haven't had as much life as some and wisdom as others. So just making sure that we felt uplifted and supported in what we needed. So I think that was one of the biggest things for Sierra and I. Sometimes we would text each other, get on FaceTime, and be like, we absolutely have no idea what to do or like how we're going to do this, but we're going to figure it out. And Dr. Nichols and a lot of other people at Cal really just sat down with us and were like, okay, we're going to figure this out. And when Jessie, who's a community engagement pillar leader at Cal, when she was hired, she was like, okay, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna do this. How are we gonna continue this to move? So I think we just had a lot of people who jumped on board really quick, as well as athletes, and like people reached out to us through DM that we didn't even know on the soccer team and the field hockey team, Bryn and Fernando, and we're like, we honestly don't know what to do at this point, but your guys' efforts seem amazing and we just want to help out with whatever you guys are doing. So then we ended up having a leadership board, and that made us be able to, you know, do tasks differently and divide up stuff. So it just all came together somehow. We didn't know how, but it was really fun to actually kind of just figure it out and try to make a difference for ourselves and other people.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear that, you know what, we just wanted to change something. We didn't really have this big plan, as in you just literally took action. And I think that's so admirable when we think about, well, let's do something, and then we have other people support the action and figure it out along the way. I think that's pretty impressive to hear, and now that that the program still continues at Cal, and that it got so much bigger than what you probably anticipated is really testament of the not just the work but also the inspiration that you put in. I think that's pretty impressive. Now, you talked about the shut up and dribble, more than an athlete. And there's a lot of different dynamics that we see here, right? At one side, we want athletes to be role models. On the other side, we like, yeah, stick with basketball, and all of these different aspects coming together. Now, did you have some role models that you were following? It's like, yeah, if that person can do it, we can do it. Were there some role models in you that inspired you along the way?
You got it, see?
So I think just role models, mine were less like in, you know, like the professional sphere, but I think Charmin was just an incredible role model through all of it. Not only is she one of the very few Black head coaches just across basketball and across sports in general, she really stands up for what she believes in. She's incredibly vocal. She, you know, stands on what she, you know, stands for. Like, she's very about her business, and she was the one who was like, no, we're gonna push this forward. She had ideas, she was backing us, she was showing up to things, she was, you know, getting CC'd on every single email that we sent back and forth. So yeah, just like that role model. She's so inspiring, just the way that, you know, she encourages us to take ownership of things. So yeah, she was incredible throughout the whole process. And another really important person throughout everything was Takia Jackson. She is just such an incredible advocate for African American students and just every initiative. She was just such a positive driving force, and so I look up to her all the time.
Definitely those two for me as well. But I think on the more professional realm, I guess, you know, Serena Williams and LeBron and Colin Kaepernick have been doing a lot of things in their respective sports for people of color. And I think just being able to see those people on a professional level doing what they're doing really inspired me, I think, my whole life, just in general, to stand in who I am and stand in my purpose. And if there's some ramifications or if people have some backlash for that, then I'm still being me. And I think Sierra is the same way. We just try to be who we are. We're still figuring out who we are as young women, but if we have ideas and if we feel some type of way about different things, we're going to speak out about it and be able to stand in who we are and what we think. And I think Cal is definitely a great school that helps you articulate that and leads you to always try to be who you are. And if you feel some type of way, stand up for what you believe in.
That's great to have that support, but also that's a great mindset from both of you. And you know, like I am, yes, I'm still learning, but I also need to stand up for myself along the way and while I'm figuring it out. So, do you see yourself as role models for the next generation of basketball players?
Wow. I mean, that's what I strive to be. I don't, I think that's not how I'm thinking about it right now. I think I'm just trying to be the best basketball player I can be, the best person I can be, and the best woman I can be. So I think as I continue to try to grow in myself, in my experiences through life, that I'm always striving to just learn and have wisdom, but you know, make an impact in whatever I do. So hopefully, I hope that people around me or people younger than me coming behind me as basketball athletes can do the same thing and have the same type of confidence in themselves that we all try to have as people. Um, I know I can speak for Sierra that I look up to her, honestly, as one of the people that has inspired me to keep going. There's been many of times where I've had my days where I'm like, girl, I don't know. But she always is uplifting me, just randomly sending me texts or calling me and making sure I'm okay, making sure that I'm continuing to be who I am. And when I make it down or lose some confidence in myself, she's always a person who I can count on to uplift me and do what I need to do. So she is already definitely doing what inspiring, and I look up to her, and so many others do as well.
Well, that's a big shout out right there. Sierra, what about yourself?
Well, I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't, say the same things about Cailyn. She was our team captain last year and just is such a light, just so positive, so encouraging, like a true leader in every sense of the word. So very grateful to have worked with her, like as partners in this project and be like her friend for life. And again, just so many like role model qualities that she already has, and I know she's inspiring others. Um, and yeah, as for myself, I feel like I also relate to what she was saying. Like it's never like, I don't know, it's not necessarily the goal. But I hope that whoever's looking at the work we're doing, especially like I'm like transitioning into, the real world and trying to be, I'm getting my master's in public health and want to be working in healthcare. So I hope that, people who are playing sports or little girls from my hometown are like, oh, I can do this. Like I can pursue sport, I can pursue the things that I care about, and I can make a true difference. Um, so yeah, so it's been a really cool experience, so many opportunities, and I hope that to someone, I'm inspiring them. So yeah.
All right. I do have generally would like to ask you for if there's one recommendation that you can pass on to whether it's more generally we pass them on to the next generation of basketballers. But I also want to challenge you a little bit, not just to pass on a recommendation that is related to basketball. I would like that too, but I would like two recommendations. So one is, what would you recommend to the next generation of basketballers, as well as what would you recommend to someone who sees there is something wrong in the world and is looking to make a change, but doesn't know how? I know I'm putting you on the spot right here, but do you have any recommendations there?
Um, I think starting with basketball, um, I would just say like keep it fun. This is, it's a sport, it's a game, and like it does get really serious. But if you're not having fun and enjoying yourself, like it might not be serving you in the ways that it's meant to, especially with all the world of mental health and prioritizing your happiness. I think that's such an important lesson to learn and protecting the things that, bring you peace in this basketball journey. And then from like a community or sorry, like engagement, like making a difference, I would just say like use your community. Like chances are you have so many people that are going to support you. You just have to ask for it. Like, like when I looped in Cailyn and Sharvin Smith was there, and like so many people are going to come out of the woodworks. And you're so lucky to have this community of people who are going to connect you with all the right people. So, yeah, those are my two words of advice.
Right, thank you.
Yes, Sierra's advice is amazing. So I think I'll start with the more engagement impact question. I think wherever you start is okay. You just have to start. We didn't know where this was going to go. We didn't know what our organization was going to be. We didn't have a name for it. Like this all came as continued. But we literally just started brainstorming ideas and bouncing things off of each other and other people, and just tried to start making a difference. And as Sierra said, as you start to do good, things start to fall in place, and people start to help and want to help you in a lot of different ways. But I think it doesn't have to be as big as starting an organization. It could be going and volunteering somewhere, or if you see somebody on the street that needs some money or needs some food, stopping and saying and giving them what they need. Or it may just be not ignoring somebody who may be on the street and just saying hello to somebody. That may change their day, change their whole life, possibly just by being acknowledged. So I think it's just starting somewhere, doing something, and that can grow, and you can learn more as you continue to do that. And then as well, I also agree with Sierra, having fun as you continue to move up and play collegiate and professional. If you're not having fun, you start to lose that love for it. So having fun with the game is big, but I also think having confidence in yourself no matter what's going on. You're going to have some rough games. You're going to have some rough practices. Everything is competitive. You're trying to get a spot. People are coming and going. But the biggest thing is it's cutthroat. Like, I have a lot of fun here, but I'm also like, I got to perform. I got to make sure I'm doing what I need to do, which is a part of the fun that I'm having. But I think I think we all as people just struggle with a lot of ups and downs of confidence, but just getting your reps up, doing what you need to do for learning yourself and how you build your confidence is big, because when you step on the court, you got to perform, and you need to do what you need to do for your team in order to win and continue on. And that a lot of that, I believe, comes from having confidence in yourself and confidence in your team and confidence in your abilities of what you can do. So I would say that is a huge thing for me as I continue into this next season too.
That's great advice from both of you for the on-field as well as the community engagement. Very much appreciated. I want to be cognizant of your time, but I also want to say thank you for using sport to make the world a better place, using your platform to make the world a better place. And we made a donation to Snap Kids today. So Sierra, you mentioned earlier you volunteered for them. Seems like a really cool organization that makes an impact there as well. So congratulations on the College Impact Awards. It's hopefully a small part in having that recognition from outside, but we've definitely been cheering for you and appreciate all you do on and off the field. Good luck with the on-field season as you're going into your, well, you got 2 more years, but as you're going into the season, good luck with the basketball season. Stay healthy. And good luck with the performance. And thank you so much. And we're definitely cheering from apart.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining the SPRTER podcast, and have a wonderful day.